Hey, welcome back to Sober Now. I'm Jim LaPierre. Today I want to talk with you about a form of self-centeredness that we often see in early recovery. And for some folks, we see it even in late stage recovery. It's a product of insecurity, not really a product of selfishness. It's the false belief that we are responsible for things that really have nothing to do with us, the type of guilt that we feel if things aren't turning out right, and the type of anxiety and insecurity that we feel when there's conflict around us because we tend to personalize everything. We tend to believe that everything is our fault, and we tend to get wrapped up in other people's feelings, other people's drama, other people's conflict. And so the idea that it's all about me really isn't something that's done out of selfishness or arrogance. It's something that we just feel responsible for. And this is most often a product of conditioning, of learned behavior. We were taught early on in life that people feel and act the way that they do because of us. This instills a false sense of responsibility for other people's well being, for their emotions, for their mood. And so we become people who are very externalized. We tend to be hyper aware of other people's needs and feelings. We tend to have a strong awareness of what's happening in our environment, even when we're at a loss for what is it that's happening within ourselves. So, the advice that I most often give is that we need reality checks. We need at least a small number of people that we can check in with and say, here's my perception, here's the things that I see going on around me, here's how they're affecting me, and here's what I think I need to do about that. And the more we have people who will speak their truth in no uncertain terms, sometimes they might do us the great favor of saying, look, this isn't about you. It's something that you're powerless over. It's not something that you even need to attend to. And having that really strong feedback in your life, I can almost guarantee it's going to reduce your stress dramatically. And it's going to create a shift in your perspective where you're able to identify things that are need to be of your concern and things that simply make you uncomfortable. For a lot of us, the anxiety that accompanies conflict or uncomfortable situations kind of compels us into action. It kind of makes us feel like we need to do something, we need to do something right away because the emotional distress that we're experiencing is too great. And so, having the humility and having the awareness to know when to get involved and when not to, what is ours to take on and what isn't, when do we owe an amends as opposed to when is somebody being unreasonable. I know that it can be hard to connect with folks like that. And so counseling and coaching are two really great alternatives. But if you're working with somebody like myself, I want to put myself out of a job as quickly as I can. So I'm going to be encouraging you to build natural supports. Natural supports are people who aren't paid to be helpful to you. And maybe those are existing friends or family. Maybe those are people in 12 step fellowships. But the real vitality is having people that you experience reciprocity with, right? It's a two-way street. You give and you get. And ideally, what you're building is not just a support system, because that's kind of a sterile idea. What you're building are important relationships that support one another's growth. And we see those in 12 step programs. Sometimes we see those in religious communities. We see them wherever people, kindred spirits who have congruent goals, gather. And so for folks who struggle to find that, I meet a lot of those folks in group therapy. I meet a lot of those folks when I'm doing coaching. And the idea is I'll help you get started, not just in terms of orienting so that you have a greater sense of what you need to address and what you don't, but also where are you looking for support? Are you talking with people who really understand the addictive mind and the lifestyle that we've lived? And do you have people in your life that you're drawing on who have had success in their recovery process. So they have made changes, and we see someone who embodies qualities or traits or characteristics that we want for ourselves, because those are typically the greatest teacher. My experience is folks love to share what works for them. They love to share ideas or insights that they've gained in the course of their healing, because it's a great opportunity to have something positive come out of our own struggles, our own strife. So, would love to hear from you as far as, when do you find yourself being self-centered? When do you find yourself struggling to identify what are you powerless over, and what do you need to take responsibility for? As always, I welcome all your questions and all of the topics that you'd like to see covered here. Please, by all means, give us a like on the video and share if you enjoyed it. Share. Let's expand this conversation. Jim at sobernow.com is how you reach me. Thank you, and have a great day.